and welcome to yet another edition of News 18 presents Yuva Bharat in association with IIMUN, a student body which is really working hard in its movement to unite nations the India way. Its president Rishabh Shah, as ever, is with us. He's on the road this time around, so he's parked his car on the side and he's joining us on this broadcast because this is a hot button topic issue, ladies and gentlemen. This is back to schools. This is an issue where many people have had different thought processes depending upon the peak or the trough of the wave and the pace of the vaccinations and the general mood overall, whether children should go back to school or not. And now the steps being taken across states and somewhere moving towards perhaps getting back everybody to school, every student, every child to school by October, mid-October. At least before Diwali, should schools be functioning normally. And at a time when we've really got a record pace for vaccinations, we are nearing about 66 crore vaccinations, averaging about 1.1 crore vaccinations per day. And a large population in our countries seem to have either got COVID, symptomatic, asymptomatic, or they've got at least one jab. So that means as a nation, are we collectively getting to a place where we can, even if we get COVID, getting into an endemic stage? So these are all various thought processes. I have with us Mrs. Preeti Gundani, principal of the Scholars Rosary School, Rohtak, Haryana. Preeti ji, namaste. I have Bipin Pote, who's a parent, joining us from Mumbai in Maharashtra. Two students, Harris Prakash, grade 11, Tirupur, Tamil Nadu, and Mehak Matwani, who's a grade 12 student from Surat in Gujarat. So let me start with you, Mehak, because you've been going to school at least for a month. How's it been?
It's been good. It's a change and it's better than online classes because definitely when you are at home attending the online classes, there are so many distractions. And as you're in grade 12, it's really important year for us. So it was really nice going to school. Definitely meeting friends was a plus point. Yeah, and social distancing was followed. All the precautions that are issued by the government, the guidelines are being followed in the school. 50% classroom is there, and social distancing is followed. Masks are compulsory for us.
Preeti ji, what do you think? Is this the right time? Should have been done later, or do you think should have waited until after Diwali?
I think this is definitely a right time when we are taking up decisions and moving slowly. Like we started with grade 9 to 12 first, and then 6 to 8. And now slowly we have moved from today, we are taking up grade 4 and 5. So it's like, we are learning this new lifestyle where we are adopting how to keep ourselves safe and move out. And that is a learning with ourselves, and that is what we want to make our children learn also. So that is how we have to keep moving. Life should not stop and we should keep moving. That is what I feel. It's the perfect time.
In the United States of America, about 4.3 million students have been, gotten the virus. In South Korea, also, they have opened the schools and then had to shut the schools 5 times over. Don't you think with young people not vaccinated, the fact that everyone who's going to school is the only population that is not vaccinated, don't you think that we could have probably done this once at least vaccines were starting to be administered to young people?
Well, I think as far as the safety is concerned, yes, of course, that is a priority. But as far as vaccination is concerned, yes, it is on the move. And since the school environment is concerned, where we all as teachers, students, parents are, meeting when we are on the platform, we are coming and going. Yes, of course, we need to make sure that all are vaccinated. And that's what the drive is on. And yes, we are moving with all the measures, in hand. We are making sure, first of all, our entire staff is vaccinated. And then when we move to students, yes, we are propagating this drive. Definitely through all means, we are propagating this drive. And I think slowly we'll definitely cope up.
But when it comes to below 18, and that's why I want to bring in Harris, do you feel that, if you get COVID, 14 days of your life are definitely going to be affected? And if not 14, 5 days, 10 days are going to be affected. This happens during midterm examinations. It happens during final examinations. Won't that be a deterrence to you? Don't you think it would be better if you just did digital classes, Harris?
Yes, sir. Actually, I hope that online classes should move ahead until Diwali. And also, there is a risk of third wave in India also. And moving ahead with that, students are not yet vaccinated. And in case during this exams, if they get COVID-19 affected, confirmed the stable of mind would be totally demonstrated, and they would not be able to concentrate and focus more on their studies rather on their health and focus. So I suggest that the school should hold on for now, and let's check what is the situation post Diwali, and then the government could take a decision on that.
But let me ask you, so will you not go to school before COVID because you may get dengue, or you may get malaria, or you may get typhoid, or you may get dysentery or cholera, or you may even get a you may even get a migraine. So or somebody may pass on an allergy to you. So did you stop going to school because of all of that?
Sir, actually, the issue here is there are certain healthcare facilities available for that which can be cured over a part of time. But when it comes to COVID, we are not still up to the level to cure every citizen getting affected by COVID-19. We have to take that also. And even the SOPs issued by the government, it's not totally, the teachers or the management cannot ensure to the 100 percentage that the students have been following the SOP issued by the government. There is also certain cases where SOP cannot be followed by the students by seeing the excitement when they meet their friends and everything. Even that should be taken into consideration.
And let me bring in Bipin on that note. You're in a situation today where about nearly 66 crore people in our country have got at least one jab. And there will be another more, a larger number who would have been asymptomatic or who would have already got it through the first and the second wave. And these are all individuals who have families. So most of the houses, serosurveillance even has shown that it's prevalent, and even kids have got it and they have recovered. Pata bhi nahi chala because they've recovered so fast. So Bipin, where do you stand?
I personally believe that yes, school should get reopened as quickly as it's been more than 18 months. Students are sitting in social isolation and a lot of cognitive issues are happening. And yes, school and parent can jointly take the decision with all the SOPs or with all the safety measures. School can be reopened and parent can give the consent, and we will definitely send the kids to the school, because all the way entire kids and students are meeting each other in society. They are even going for the coaching classes as well. So why not in the school? This is what I believe school should get reopened as early as possible.
But do you think there has also been a change? There's also been a change from where we were, mindset-wise, as parents, as policymakers, as teachers, say sometime last October or last September, even April, May this year, and now. You think there's a change also?
Yeah, there's a change, a lot of change in the parent mindset as well. I mean, every school is having their own infrastructure, their own arrangement. If the school is arranging everything and they are ready to take safety measures, the student parent mindset is for the change. We are ready to send the kids to the school and with all the safety norms. So, because as you rightly said, we are having herd immunity already in the society. So it will be good if school reopen with all the safety measures. If the local body take the decision, school can show the infrastructure arrangement according to safety measure, and student can learn physically as well.
Preeti ji, you agree, disagree? And as a principal, as somebody who's running and in charge of a school, you
Yes.
think you yourself are in a different space, in a much better space, in a more confident space now?
Definitely. I totally agree. As you know, health emergencies trumps all other concerns. We have to have these important considerations in mind, as the growth and development of our future generation is dependent on it. It is the time we adopt the hybrid models in between, which are designed to have, fewer students in the building at a given point of time. So, it is like how we take up this and how we, execute all the possibilities, how we make sure of the safety concerns which we have in mind. It's not like we sit at homes and for longer period and you just keep waiting for the right moment to come. We have to really move on, and we have to really make sure of all the safety measures also. When we call the students on board, like we want them to come in the school physically, so we have given them a form to fill in. Okay, they have to really express, okay, they are comfortable joining the physical schools. And it's like, according to their choice, according to their comfort zone, according to their own preparations, we are calling them. And when your mind is prepared, okay, I am ready to go to school and attend the physical school, or I am not. So that is, those choices are taken up by the school. And after taking up those choices, we are making sure those 50% who are present, I mean, in a hybrid model, 50% who are attending the classes online, they are given the equal weightage. They are given the lessons, equivalent.
It's been 18 months, ma'am, since people have, and like Bipin ji has rightly pointed out, since they've actually gone to school. There are few people who have been going to school intermittently, but the younger grades have not. This has had a tremendously adverse impact on their mental health. Now, when it comes to school reopening, at that juncture, of course, you are putting in the safety protocols and the measures and so on and so forth. But are there also steps that are going to be taken, and not just at the more professional IB institutions or IGCSE and CBSE institutions, but also at a very local level? Do you think that the need for mental health counselors is also more than ever? And is your institution doing something about it?
Definitely, definitely, it is. It is a rising need these days, because it has been a long period, and especially for the younger ones, if you look at their growth, that is definitely affected when they're sitting at homes. Rightly, when it is a very blossoming phase. When we talk of the kindergarten, we talk of the nursery, we talk of the primary classes. They are the blossoming phases. When we just confine them in a particular area, okay, with lot of do's and don'ts, it is definitely affecting their growth. And for that sake, their mental and physical both. So for that sake, I think we do require some kind of counseling often now. And yes, my school has also taken up those measures, and we are taking up those counseling sessions with our parents, even online. Even online,
Hmm.
we are taking that very often, in a week, like every Saturday we have kept it like that for the counseling. Every Saturday means when the week is ending, so there are few names lined up for every class, okay, who need that session, and that is one-to-one session with the parent and the student.
I'm asking Mehak because she's there joining us from Surat. So her school opened and she started schooling from August. So I'm asking you, were there any cases? And what was the conversation that you were having with your friends? How did your friends respond? Were there some of your friends who didn't want to come to school even though school had opened?
We did not have any COVID cases, but yeah, I had some friends who were not very comfortable going to school after being at home for 18 months. So, but there were some who were very enthusiastic to go back to school because as the special assessment scheme has come, we have our term one boards in November or December. So we need to start preparing for the same, and that is why the school had scheduled an examination, and we are keeping the one more examination because of the term one boards. So that is why
Hmm.
we need to go to school and be prepared for the fact that we need to give offline exams in November or December.
Hmm. Harris, don't you miss school, Harris?
Sir, actually, when it comes to meeting to friends, it's well and good. But when it comes to health status, there it comes some tragedy over there. When we see our friends, we are so much excited to go behave as we were before COVID, like how we used to behave with them. It comes to the same thing. But when it comes to now, we have to follow social distancing, and nowadays it's just 20 people in one particular classroom. So there's so much occupancy of the school is needed for one grade 9 to 12 itself. So when we move ahead in October and everything, the government have told even from lower grades can come to school. So that time the social distancing wouldn't be a better choice and cannot be monitored by the school management. That's my opinion over here.
There has to be a point where you will say, all right, after this, I will go out, I will stay. Because Bevin, that's where I'm coming from. As a parent myself, I'm seeing kids who have put on 10, 12, 14 kilograms in the last 8 months or a year. There are physical changes in them, which is way beyond their age. They have become sedentary. There is no activity to get them to run from one end to the other itself. भागने लग रहे हैं. And this is not something which young children should be doing. That energy is not there. And you can't put them at home because it's also having an impact on the parents.
True,
It's
true,
having an impact on the parents, and it collectively then changes the whole energy in the house.
true, true. Yes, Anandji, you rightly mentioned. I mean, physical health is on course. My God, the children are getting, so they are gaining a lot of weight and they are not able to do all minimum activity which they were doing earlier. And physical health, mental health, And in fact, the many of the students, when see the important aspect in education is attention. The attention part is completely missing, which is what this is what I believe in online education. They are having very little span of attention, and this online process, they're easily distracted towards many things which is happening in house. There are people who are having big houses, they are making that kind of arrangement, but there are many people, they are not having that kind of arrangement, and they're facing a lot of issues, connectivity issues, MSAB, light issues. There are a lot of issues, other issues as well in online education. So mental health, easily distraction, they are getting cell phone in hand, and easily if you are there and you're having your phone in your hand, so there are a lot of people sitting over there to influence you, YouTuber, you can say the main OTT channel, and a lot of they are getting distraction. So that was the reason I believe that cognitive ability has decreased in a big way. So they are not able to sustain longer term attention for any concept, even though they are keep sitting in the front of screen, they are focusing, but they are not able to understand completely.
See, coin has both the sides. Every time in life, we move with both the sides, right? Everything has got positive and the negative. All the pros and cons we have to take in mind. So if we look at the scenario of the digital education, which we were going through past 18 months as we were talking, so that also had some drawbacks, because if you look at the overall scenario of the country, where you talk of all the amenities, all the facilities, so every child, every house was not well equipped with those amenities, iPad, laptops, and the iPhones, or whatever. Means technically, whatever was needed to attend the classrooms, it wasn't like with all the students, all the children. So they were missing on those important, and other thing is, schools are not meant to just, cater to the syllabus. It's not only the education through syllabus, like we've completed the syllabus, so this is where the job is done. It's like we are bringing out the people, we are bringing out personalities, we are bringing out an individual, that is what is being done in an environment where there's an automatic learning. A lot of things are being, taught and learned, which we cannot happen, when we are sitting not physically in face to face, when we are not into the environment.
No, as somebody who organizes conferences, and as an organization that puts together conferences which has majority school students and in schools, Preeti ji, I am with you, and I am hopeful that holistic development comes back. And the fact that, this procrastination, the sitting at home, the fact that we go forward from that phase of just academic rigor, which, as Bipin ji rightly pointed out, is no longer academic rigor, it's just YouTube rigor that is happening. So we move from that phase into doing physical school. But all that I'm trying to say, and the point that I was trying to make, Anand, is that we should be careful whilst we do it and whilst we reopen the institutions, because at the end of the day, it's lives of people who are below 18, and as much as it may be one or it may be two, every life matters.
Vaccination should start for the below 18 as early as possible. That's the whole important point of what he's rightly mentioned, because they are the important generation. And the same time, Mr. Anand, lot of mental, I mean, they say the 30 days or 60 days is required to form a new habit. Since last 18 months, students are sitting at home and they had formed a lot of different kind of habit. I don't know how much time it will take to come out of that. That's the important aspect.
Yeah.
And we should definitely take this drive of vaccination, on the move, because school, as being an educator and running my own school also, I feel like we should, often propagate this message as far as possible. And our school is organizing those immunization, vaccination camps in the school itself, in the premises itself, very often. So
I agree with you.
One of the factor which schools should take up, if those vaccination camps are held frequently in the school premises itself.
No, I agree. I totally agree. It's just that the vaccination for children you can't rush into. It's in advanced stages of trials. Once the trials are done, once we know that children are going to be absolutely secure, because vaccination for children is not going to be injectable, it's going to be nasal, or it's going to be non-injectable, largely those platforms. And that is going to be, yes, 12 to 18, it should start very soon. Zycov-D should come into the market very soon. There is also Bharat Biotech, which is looking at its nasal vaccine. By October, November, by the time it's Diwali, the vaccination for children should also come out. But by then, I just feel, and that's what many experts say, that for this disease, at least for this disease, as of now, children don't need the vaccination. If they get it, they will automatically have the immunity in it. and they may have been asymptomatic largely. They may have already got, because most of the elders in most of the families have already had COVID directly or asymptomatic or with symptoms. So that's where we are. So we need to break out this mental shackle and this fear. Don't let the fear consume you and box you in. You've got to break out at some time, and this perhaps is the right time, because we are in a way much less vulnerable, especially the elders. So it's time we give the kids what is their due right. I'm going to wind up on that note. It's been a very engaging conversation. Hopefully 15 days later, 15 days into schools reopening, we'll try and catch up again and get a sense of how things are. Mehak, Harris, Vipinji, and Preeti ji, thank you very, very much. Thank you, Rishabh. Thank you very much.